Cohen, and I'm the founder of Mountain Dog Media. Much like yourself, I just recently graduated college. It feels like it was recent, but it was 5 years ago. So I graduated college about 5 years ago, and I'm going to tell you the story of what happened to me next. I grew up in Bloomington, Indiana. I went to Indiana University. I got a full ride for Indiana University, and I decided, all right, I'm going to pack everything into these 4 years that I can possibly do. So I double majored in English and journalism, and I double minored in music and studio art, kind of the fun stuff in there. And I had this burning flame of passion in my soul for journalism, and I wanted to be a magazine journalist, and I wanted to be a lifestyle magazine journalist. I had this grandiose image of how this was all going to unfold, and I was going to move to Colorado with my portfolio, and I was going to write rock climbing features and all kinds of cool things. And I had written for Breckenridge Magazine, Winter Park Magazine, Outside Magazine, and 5280 before I had even graduated college and moved here. So I felt really confident, like, whoa, I've got this awesome portfolio, this is going to be great, I'm going to move to Colorado and make all this great stuff happen. And about 4 months after I moved here, I was making lattes behind the counter of a coffee shop, which is what I was doing when I was 15 years old. And I was like, this is really a bummer that I just put all this effort and energy into my college career, and here I am being a barista again. So I was really frustrated with that outcome. And my point to you guys is that a lot of the times you're going to leave college and you're going to have this vision of what your dream job is, and it might not fall into your lap, and you might have to create it for yourself. So that's just what I did with Mountain Dog Media. I had all these writing and journalism skills, and I asked myself, how can I repurpose these? And I ended up repurposing them for digital marketing. My love for writing and journalism became a love for search engine optimization and blogging. So really think about what things you're truly passionate about and what you're really talented at, and think about how you can cultivate your own opportunities using those skills. So don't let the world overwhelm you when you graduate from college and realize that it's not necessarily a walk down easy street. So I was working behind the bar in this coffee shop and decided I wanted to learn all these digital marketing things. I teamed up with my business partner who knew how to build websites, and so we said, this is an ultimate, power couple here. We're going to build websites and we're going to run digital marketing campaigns. And just blabbing about that behind the counter at the coffee shop to all my customers, I was able to sign my first few clients. So people wanted help with those things, and I built up the company while being a barista for a full year until I had 12 clients, and we were both able to quit our coffee shop jobs and go full-time for Mountain Dog Media. So that was very exciting for the two of us, and about 4 years ago at this point. So it's been quite a beautiful journey. We've worked with more than 80 local businesses. We've worked with more than 100 businesses throughout the country. So we've got clients from Alaska to New Hampshire. We've got people all over the country, which is just awesome. We're not particularly focused on one niche. We cover a lot of different niches. We work with breweries, coffee shops, home painters, plumbers, hot therapeutic eye masks, all kinds of things. What really does seem to unite our clients is that they're all small to medium-sized business owners that are kind of looking for that next level of customer care. I really enjoy having a hands-on relationship with my clients, even though it's a digital product that I'm providing. So that's kind of what distinguishes Mountain Dog Media. So you guys are going to do a little thought experiment with me here. You're going to pretend that you just got an internship with a new company, or you just started your own business, okay? And one of the huge initiatives and concerns that you need to have is search engine optimization. Well, what does that mean? That is the art of manipulating your website content to rank favorably in Google. We all use Google, probably every day, to find all kinds of essential services and goods that we need. And likely, have you ever bought anything off the second or third or fourth or fifth or 10th or 12th page of Google? No, you haven't. You make all of your purchases off the first page of the Google search results. So if you're a business owner, obviously, it is very important that you rank on the first page of the Google search results for the keywords that are relevant for your business. That's going to be a huge method for obtaining new revenue and obtaining new customers. So we are interns, or we're small business owners, and we're concerned about our search engine optimization. So we are going to manipulate our website content so that we can advantageously increase our rank in Google. So there are a couple things that we need to understand about our business before we can successfully do this. Just a few questions we need to ask. What does this business provide? Well, that should be straightforward. If you're starting the company, hopefully you know how to answer that question. And how do they distinguish themselves from their competitors? So what is your unique competitive edge? Okay, and then who are your competitors and what do their websites look like? So I'm going to break down each of those questions a little bit for you, and I'm going to use the example of my client, Mayfield Plumbing, because plumbing's a pretty straightforward example. You guys all know what plumbers are and what they do, so you should be able to follow through this. You know, what do they provide? Residential and commercial plumbing services. Pretty straightforward, okay? How do they distinguish themselves from their competition? Well, the founder, Sean Mayfield, has more than 25 years of experience and he is genuinely dedicated to quality. Well, that's a really outstanding quality for a plumber to have because not every plumber that walks into your house is actually going to care whether or not your toilet continues to work after they fix it. So how we're going to keep our messaging consistent is continuously reminding people of our dedication to quality. So like Lisa mentioned, we want to keep your messaging consistent across all of your platforms. That's really what I'm going to drive home from Mayfield Plumbing is their dedication to quality. And then what do their competitors look like and what do their websites look like? Well, I'm going to pair that market research activity with my keyword research, which is what kind of comes next. If I've already answered this, what do they do? How do they distinguish themselves? Well, what search results would we like to be found for? There are going to be a lot of options. For Boulder, for Mayfield Plumbing, the options are pretty straightforward. Boulder Plumber, Boulder Plumbing. Okay, I can think of those on my own, but obviously the list is a lot longer than that. So I want to head over to my friendly neighborhood Google and start typing in Boulder Plumber, Boulder Plumbing, and I want to see all the relative search results that pop up. So one thing I learned was Boulder Plumber reviews is actually an enormously popular search phrase, which makes sense if you think about where somebody is when they're shopping for a plumber. They obviously care about the quality of the work that's going to get done, so maybe they're more inclined to type in Boulder Plumbing reviews than they are just Boulder Plumber. So we want to just keep adding to this list. Use the relevant and relative search results in Google to help you add to this list. There's also awesome keyword research tools. I use storybase.com to expand on my keyword lists. So you can try to think of all of the search results that are going to be relevant for your business. If you're a realtor, obviously you want to be found for Boulder homes for sale, all kinds of things that are relevant to what you're providing. And so we're going to create this comprehensive keyword list, and while we do that, we're going to size up all of our competition. I use this as an opportunity to click on every single website that appears on the first page of the Google search results for the terms that I've chosen, because that's my competition. If I'm not on page 1 and they're on page 1, I need to out-optimize them. So I need to size them up and see what's going on. For Mayfield Plumbing, I checked out who is on the first page of the Google search results for Boulder Plumber. And what I found is Planet Plumbing. You guys have probably seen their trucks driving around. They are, they dominate the search results, and it's because they've created individual landing pages keyword optimized for every specific service. So I told myself when building this website that I have to outdo them. And I knew that I could do that because even though they took the time to create these individual landing pages for each specific service, they only put one sentence of copy on those landing pages. Well, that is not up to Google's best practices at all. So if I create a series of landing pages for all of these hyper-specific services, and I include what Google would recommend as their minimum of 300 words of copy, then I know I'm going to be able to out-optimize Planet Plumbing, and I'm going to be able to take over the first page of the Google search results for Boulder Plumbing. So that's awesome. We want to do that keyword research and our market research at the same time. Kill two birds with one stone. So make that keyword list and figure out who you're competing with to be on that list. So that's kind of the preliminary getting to know the business. If you came in an internship type position and you needed to ask those questions, who are you, how do you distinguish yourself, who are your competitors, great, yay. Now we want to outline all of our new website copy. So we're going to do another little series of things to make a map of what all of our new website copy is going to look like, because that is the most important part of the whole search engine optimization process, is creating this keyword optimized content. So a few things that we're going to do. We're going to ask ourselves to outline the pages on the new website. What what pages do you need? Obviously you need a home page, do you need a services page, do you need an about page, do you need an FAQ page, do you need shopping cart functionality? Are you selling your product online? Do you need a contact form? Do you need survey forms? So create yourself a nice little outline of what all of your pages are gonna be on your website, and then we're gonna ask the following 3 questions on every single page. So we're gonna really hone in on what's going to occur on each of those pages. So first, what is the marketing goal of that page? You should really be able to answer that. If you can't answer what is the marketing goal of this page, why are you creating that page would be my question for you. And so the marketing goal could be something as simple as sell my services. It's the services page. I want to sell my services. That's the goal. Or it could be, I want to get people to fill out this contact form so that I can get their email address and add them to my email newsletter list. So what is the marketing goal on each page? And it's going to be different. You know, the goal of your services page is going to be different than the goal of your about page, which is likely to inform people about your qualifications and your expertise, versus services, which is listing what you're capable of offering your customers. So after we ask what's the marketing goal, we're going to ask ourselves what essential information must be conveyed on this page. So that should be pretty straightforward too. What do you need to tell people in order to accomplish this goal? If it's the services page and you want them to buy your services, how much do you need to tell them about your services for them to be actually interested in subscribing to those services? Or if it's the contact page and your marketing goal is to have them fill out that form, you need to tell them that. Complete this form and we'll get back to you in 24 to 48 hours or whatever. So ask yourself what essential information needs to be conveyed. And then lastly, ask yourself what keywords you want to feature on that page. Out of your big list, we just created a list of maybe 40 to 60 relevant keywords for your company. Obviously, we're not going to put all 60 of those keywords on every single page. That's going to be really challenging. So we need to figure out my most essential keywords need to be on my primary landing pages, and then some of my longer tail, more specific keywords might be more appropriately placed on specific landing pages that really address those topics. So you want to ask yourself how you want to distribute the keywords across your site. That's going to be a really important part of the outlining process. So if you've asked yourself, what's the marketing goal? What is the essential information that must be conveyed? And what keywords do I want to have on this page? And if you've done that for every page, wow, you have really set yourself up for success here. And the next phase is just going to be drafting everything. And that should be enormously easy if you've answered all of these questions. It should just be a matter of plugging in headlines and subheads and body copy and just filling in all the gaps around the outline that you've already created. So we're going to outline this copy for our new website, and we're going to be really excited about that, and that's going to be awesome. And so we're going to pretend that we just did that for Mayfield Plumbing. We just outlined some homepage copy. As Lisa mentioned, there is a packet that kind of supports both of our little talks if you want to grab this off wherever that magically comes from for you guys. It does have some good information that might just contextualize everything that we're saying a little bit more. And so I would have asked you to read this chunk of homepage copy, but instead I'm going to read it to you. And one of the things I want you to bear in mind is listen to this and listen for the keywords and try to just sound a little bell in your head every time you hear one of these keywords. And the keywords we're looking for Boulder Mayfield Plumbing is going to be Boulder Plumbing, Boulder Plumber, residential plumbing services, commercial plumbing services, backflow certification, and backflow maintenance. Okay, so I've secretly hidden all of these words into this copy, and ideally to the point that it doesn't annoy you, but that it conveys to Google the keywords that we're trying to go for here. So this is the homepage copy I created for Mayfield Plumbing. The headline reads, Quality Plumbing Services, because we're really sticking to that consistent messaging about plumbing, or about quality, but then we've also got plumbing right there, which is one of our most desired keywords. The body copy reads, Having a plumbing emergency or pondering a plumbing upgrade, Mayfield Plumbing and Backflow handles all varieties of residential plumbing maintenance and installation needs. With more than 25 years of experience, our plumbers ensure your project is completed with an attention to detail and longevity. Mayfield Plumbing also provides commercial backflow certification, installation, and maintenance to Boulder restaurants, clinics, and more. To learn more about our residential and commercial plumbing services, click below, and the call to action button reads, View Plumbing Services. So there I am trying to accomplish my marketing goal goal, which was to push them from the home page to the services page. So I've used my call to action button to do that. And a second headline reads, residential and commercial plumbing. That's just straight keywords. And the body copy of this paragraph reads, few items in our home work harder than our sinks, toilets, and tubs. We use them day in and day out to keep our homes and bodies clean and refreshed. Mayfield Plumbing and Backflow can maintenance any of your essential plumbing fixtures and appliances, including sinks, faucets, dishwashers, outdoor spigots, garbage disposals, ice makers, gas pipes, pressure reducers, sewage ejectors, shower accessories, sump pumps, toilets, water filters, and water heaters. Serving Boulder and beyond, call for an estimate or to schedule a maintenance visit, 1-800-753-2452. I don't think that's actually his phone number. So you should have heard a few bells go off, heard the word plumbing a few times. There are 30 keywords. You can see my orange highlights are all of the keywords in this text. And there were 30 keywords that are embedded in this 166 words of text, which gives me an excellent opportunity to tell you guys about keyword density. Because in addition to just packing these keywords into our content, we actually need to do that in a healthy ratio to the rest of our words to really be satisfying Google's best practices. So they recommend a keyword density between 5 and 20%. What I just showed you here, 30 keywords out of 166 words, is an 18% keyword density. So we're just about pushing the limit of what we should really ethically do. 20% is the cutoff. So you want to be conscious of this as you draft the content for your business or your client. What is the keyword density on this page? Is it healthy? If it's under 5%, you don't have the keywords in there often enough to accurately convey to Google what your desired search terms are and what the purpose of your content is. But if it's 40%, 50%, it's too high and it's spammy, and Google's going to actually punish you for that. And this stems from an older practice where when search engine optimization was first born, people were able to kind of hack the system by hiding these paragraphs of keywords on their website. Maybe they'd make a whole paragraph of keywords and make it the same color as the background color so the user doesn't see it there, but so Google sees it there and would, in the olden days, reward them favorably for that. Well, Google will no longer reward you favorably for such an unethical practice. And so they would see that as maliciously being above your keyword density, and they would punish you for that. And Mountain Dog Media actually took on a client a few years ago that had been blacklisted by Google. So this happens. They were a residential painting company working with a search engine optimization person that just had really unethical practices, and Google blacklisted their site, and it's taken us 3 years to get them back into the search results with totally organic search engine optimization practices. So you absolutely would not want that to happen for your company. You want to make sure that you're being as on par with Google's recommended best practices as possible. And of course they have a beautiful little booklet thing that'll show you all of their best practice recommendations and things like that. So keyword density is going to be an enormously important part of that. So we found out about our company, we drafted our content, that's awesome, we checked our keyword density, our website is rocking and rolling. One of the most important things that we need to do next is work on our meta title and meta description. And this is gonna look more familiar to you guys as the Google search results. So you're probably used to seeing that big blue linked title with the description under it. This is what you see every time you look for anything on Google. You see a whole spieling page of those. Well, we as the web developers and marketing persons actually have the ability to manipulate that content. And this is an enormously important opportunity for us to interact with Google and convey to them directly the purpose of our content. Because they're going to comb through everything on the site, that's great, but the first thing they're going to look at is that meta title and meta description. So if we have that packed full of keywords, that is going to influence Google to rank us more favorably. That's great. The other most important thing you need to consider when you're putting together that meta title and meta description is where your clients are in the sales funnel when they interact with that, okay? So for Mayfield Plumbing, we could consider that somebody might be having a plumbing emergency. Their toilet is spraying water up in the air, and they're like, ah! And they go to Google and they're like, Boulder plumbing emergency! They're frantic. then we might want a meta title and meta description that speaks to that. 24 hours a day, emergency service available, call now for a quote. You know, something that they're like, oh good, they have 24-hour a day emergency service. I can call this person because it's 2 in the morning and my toilet's exploding. Great. So think about where your customer is in the sales funnel when they interact with your meta title and meta description. If you're more of an information-driven company, that person's probably just searching around for resources. So you might want to say something like, browse our comprehensive library of resources on this topic. And they're gonna be like, oh yeah, cool. I was trying to look up nutrition and wellness resources, and this is exactly what I was looking for. Or maybe you sell a software or a product that addresses a specific need. Then you need to think about what somebody's typing into Google. If they're like, why does my computer crash every time I open Internet Explorer? And you sell the product that prevents that, then you need to be aware that that's where the customer is in their sales process. They're looking for something to solve their problem. So you need to say, hey, I'm here to solve your problem. Internet Explorer crash every time you open it up? Okay, we sell this thing that's gonna help you with that. Okay, awesome. So meta titles and meta descriptions, and you put those on every single page. So if you have a website with 20 pages, 20 opportunities right there to optimize yourself. And that's just awesome. And Google has a really hard time understanding you without that information. I just encountered this the other day where a good friend of mine who has a business said, you know, we just had our website redesigned and we're not ranking on Google at all. Even if you type in our own company name, we don't show up. And I'm like, ugh, that's horrible, that's really bad. But probably what happened is your new website launched without any meta titles or meta descriptions, and Google has no idea what your website is about. So they don't even know to associate you with the name of your company. So that information is essential so that we can communicate with them. This is what this website is about. This is what we're relevant for. Okay, so the meta title and meta description, that's also a really limited window of time. It's less than a tweet. So it is a very short amount of text in which you're trying to accomplish a lot of missions. You're conveying keywords to Google, and you're trying to capture potential new customers out of the sales funnel and off of Google. So that's a place where you really want to dedicate a lot of time and energy, is your meta title and your meta description. Okay. Also including keywords in that. I think we're all kind of familiar, if you type in Boulder pizza, all the results that pop up, anywhere you see the word Boulder or you see the word pizza, it's going to be bolded in the search results. That's Google's way of saying, we think these are really relevant results for you. Look, what you typed in is here, 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 and here. So if we can include those keywords in our meta title and meta description that we know users are likely typing in to try to find us, then that's awesome. That just affirms to them further when they see that bolded text in the description that we are in fact providing what they're looking for. So that's another reason that embedding those keywords is really important in there. And then lastly, you want to make sure that that includes some sort of call to action. Lisa mentioned, why write an email marketing campaign if you're not going to include an explicit call to action? They're not going to figure it out on their own, so you need to tell them what the next step is. Click to learn more. Click to request a free quote. Anything like that that's going to tell them what the next step of action is. So you want to include that call to action in the meta description so that that person that's browsing all the Google search results ideally really is motivated by your result to click into your website and get that much closer to becoming a paying customer of yours. So those call to actions, not only do we want those on the website, moving the users through the website and accomplishing our marketing goals, we want those in the meta description as well, so that we're making sure that we can attract people off of Google as successfully as possible. One of my favorite call to actions, and nobody ever thinks this is funny besides me, but you know, when you write copy for websites, you write about a lot of potentially boring things, and one of the projects we had was to write all the website copy for a stone restoration company. So we learned a lot about polishing marble and granite and all of these things. Had to really put ourselves in the position of the stone restoration company. What does it feel like to be a stone restoration company? And how do you come up with a good call to action for a stone restoration company, for Pete's sake? And one of my copywriters wrote this, and I just laughed hysterically, and I still do. Polishing your granite is hard, but calling us is not. Click here to schedule your maintenance visit today. So I just thought that was so clever. What an awesome way to have a little bit of fun with your call to action text. Again, nobody laughed. It's not funny. I'm the only one that thinks it's funny. And that really concludes my comments on on-site optimization. That's everything we do on the website to positively affect our search engine rankings. There's this whole other world of off-site optimization. That's everything you can do away from your website to positively influence your rankings. And that can be your email marketing campaigns, your social media campaigns, your press releases. That's a huge part of your off-site optimization. If you're a service provider, it can be your Angie's List, your Yelp, or your Home Advisor listing. So you have to think of all the ways you can interact with your community away from your website to affect your search engine optimization. And the things to keep in mind there is that you want to stay consistent with your messaging, just like you do all your platforms. Maintain consistency, please and thank you. And you want to keep continuing to use those keywords, because it's going to help Google make that association. If you're using all those keywords in your social media posts and in your newsletters and in your press releases, that is awesome off-site optimization, and that is really going to help you increase the ranking of your website. So that's all I'm going to spiel at you guys about search engine optimization. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it is really important when you're working with businesses to try to figure out how to help them improve their search engine optimization. If you're going to start your own company, this is something that really needs to happen in the early planning stages. Start to think about your keywords and look at the competition on those keywords and ask yourself, is it viable for me to out-optimize these people and try to get onto the first page of Google with this business idea? Hopefully, yes. So, and you know, just remember that if your dream job doesn't fall on your lap and you end up at a coffee shop, it's not the end of the world. You might meet the people that help you sculpt the rest of your life. So just remember that you can take anything that you're talented at and passionate about, and you can find a way to create that into your destiny. So, yay. Lisa and I will now take your questions.